Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer. And I'm here to take a look at a new Kickstarter that just dropped today and it's called Time Editors, a time travel themed board game. Save the past and control the use of time travel. This should be intriguing. I do like space games, having just reviewed a Kickstarter with a space game. So, in terms of theme, the idea of using time travel in a space themed game sounds like it's great. The story is here in the year 2475. World nations race to save the past and control the use of time travel. Search the galaxy for the rare element zolinium to open wormholes in space and time, and then send your agents to the past to change the timeline or keep them in the present to use their unique skills. So far, theme space is good. This is Aspen Leaf Games. They are our first time game designer, founded in 2019, as you can see here. They are doing okay. I mean, they've had 83 backers today. It only dropped this morning. They've raised $6,800 out of the 72,000 they're required. This sounds a bit much for a new designer to raise that much money, but maybe that's what it actually costs. I don't know in the thinking of Kickstarter how they set that bar, and it's not for me to judge whether or not 70,000 is enough or not. I have saved it, as you can see. I am on the fence, but let's talk a little bit more. So we've talked about the theme. So we'll just scroll down here and we can check out the rule book. So let's just open the rule book here. I love looking at the rules books. I think rules are important. Can you get a sense of how you play the game from the rule? There we are. Don't mind my internet. I do live in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, and the internet is slower than molasses, unfortunately. So I'm looking at the components, and so far I'm going like, yeah, there's your game board. Not a lot of color. It is space, but I'm not really getting a sense that they put a lot of effort into that. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a gamer from the 70s. I've been gaming for 50 years. The fact that you have a 3 or 4 color map is not necessarily a game breaker for me because if you looked at the games from 1970, color was not something they did a lot of. If you were German, you were gray. If you were American, you played green. So, similarly, this isn't so bad. Looks like there's some miniatures, there's a bunch of counters. The rules look pretty well laid out, though I haven't really read through the rules yet. One of the things I do look for in rules at the very last page is an index. Oh, no index. That is one of my pet peeves. If there's no index, how do you find things quickly? So just to let you know, though it's not a deal breaker, I like an index and a well-written rules. But let's take a look at the components here. We have game components. There's the board we talked about. There's the player mats. Looks like we've got some miniatures. We've got some typical round tokens. We've got some cards. We got some timeline events, 80 unique events. That looks pretty interesting. And then we have some resource cubes and a drawstring bag. We have your typical how to play. Now, I did look at this video, and you know, I think maybe it's worth playing a little tiny bit for you just to show you kind of where it's at. So it's got a nice trailer going on here.
This video will explain the basic rules for playing Time Editors. In this game, players are in a race to become the single world
So,
task force of...
having done some research recently on video editing, now I can't tell you whether this voice is definitively a computer generated voice, but the fact that as you go through this video, it is at that same monotone throughout the video. After about a minute, I didn't even want to watch this because it was just like grating. Now, the designer and a couple of his friends sitting around a table just sort of looking at the game and discussing the game. Not even necessarily talking about the rules and how to play, but just sitting around talking about it, having a conversation. This is, I don't even want to look at it. Sorry. Um, Same with, so I looked at that. There's a brief summary of the rules and then about us. No stretch goals by the looks of things. A couple of what's next. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I don't know. So far, I'm not impressed. Now let's take a look at the price. So it looks like the early bird price is $49. Fair enough. Uh, Looks like it lasts for 3 days. It's only two backers. $59. The time traveler is at zero backers. $62. The master of time and includes an MP3 and some game art. Again, that's not compelling for me to spend $80 Canadian so I can get an MP3 to play on my computer and some art that it's just going to sit in the box and do absolutely nothing. So this is rather lackluster. So in terms of the theme, I like the theme. The rules, I'm going to have to do a bigger dive if I want to be interested in the rules. The replayability, I didn't get much out of that video other than the fact that the drone voice was killing me. What's in the box? The components looked a little lackluster. Again, first time designer. I'm not sure how this game plays. It may not be a game breaker, but again, my feeling is you didn't grab me. I believe there's a solo experience. I'd have to go back up. Nope, no solo experience. For me, that's a big one. And then the value. I'm not 100% sure that there's a value here in backing this game at this point. There's no stretch goals. There doesn't seem to be any promo. I would wait to a retail version of this. And if it doesn't fund, it's not going to go to retail. I don't think it's going to hold its value if you do buy it. I am not 100% sure whether I would back this game for my collection at this point. I think that time will tell. I mean, this is early days. We're only into hours. But whether it's going to fund or not, I can't tell you for sure. So at this point, I am not going to back this game. I may jump in and take a look at 48 hours before it ends and jump back in and say, yeah, I'm interested. But for now, I'm out. This is Harry Jacobs from North of 60 Gaming, and I am the North of 60 Gamer.